Hello and welcome to the Cat Collective. I'm Nina, I'm the channel for this channel. And let's start. I'm a bit silent today. Trickery. Abundance. Balance. Yeah. Fear. Okay. Fear. Okay. Very silent. Oh, magic. Trickery. I'm getting the sentence or the saying, a sense of belonging. You know what a sense of belonging is? I never really understood this, because a sense of belonging means you have an idea of something, right? But if you would just remove a sense of and say belonging, that's the real deal, right? But with this a sense of belonging, it's a bit that's trickery, isn't it? In a way. I'm also very cautious about what I say and don't say, in a way. It's this yeah, a sense of belonging. It's like molding the words so they fit into this reading. That's weird. Because usually, you know, I try to, at least I try to speak as freely as I can, right? And it's refreshing if you can do so. But if you have to, the feeling that you need to put on a, you know, that you have to steer your words in a way, it makes everything so much more complicated, right? Because if you wouldn't have to do this, right? Like this, you know, for an interview, before you are going on an interview, you dress up, right? And it's this, it takes hours to do so, to prepare and everything, just to portray a certain image, right? And this creates then a sense of belonging, or the entrance card into the world, right? Into the world, the corporate world or whatnot. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's this, and I think what I'm feeling more about this is, much more heavily, it's this being tired of this. You know, it's because it's like putting on an avatar, you know. It's this mask thing where you put on a mask to shape something, like putting on an image to shape something into being. It's this, it's so deliberate, like you have to really, really pick and be extremely cautious what you say and what you don't say. Right? And I think this is this causing, is this balance or is it not? It's not telling the whole story in a way. I mean, if you look at the abundance card, it's like taking just a tiny fragment and flying away with it when there's so much more on the table, right? There's so much more actually. And it could be that, it's this typical being online thing, right? Where you portray a certain image and you are somehow someone, when in fact, it can lead us to a somewhat distortion of who we are when we are almost becoming when we are in a, when our face is in the square, right? And it's just when we are just in this false world, right? Because it's tempting to live there indefinitely, but it's also restricting because this is just a tiny bit of who you are. And you're so much more, right? I think it's also this questioning of if we really are supposed to be like this, right? Because this is just not authentic enough. It creates a sense of belonging, right? A sense of. But real belonging, I'm not sure. It's like, but there's magic on the table and it's beautiful. So clearly keep doing what you are doing. You're doing a really good job at doing things. The chili energy, it switched from weird banana to chili. It's this being so tense. It's because of all the energies around, right? It's creating some sort of tension that is hard to escape from. And it doesn't feel necessary in a way, right? Creates sleepless nights and just being tired. Life could be so much more simple. It's the simple sunlight. It's like trying to be the sun and trying to be strong, right? It's trying to be strong when you are, and you are strong, it's not that, it's just, and again, trying to be strong. It's like sense of. And in fact, there has been a long journey. It's this trying to hide your sunburn. Or is it hiding? I don't think that it's hiding in a way. It's just the nature of things, when you are a certain figure somehow, right? And you just portray something. It's like a few seconds, a few fragments of your essence, right? And this creates something, right? Magic. It's beautiful, but why am I so sad? Trickery. I mean, look, there's something hidden there, right? It's beautiful. Because it seems to be special, right? It's just, where's the balance in this? And there are also a lot of questions, like, you were fully abundant, right? Fully abundant with every resource. Would you continue to do what you do? There's the trickery again, right? Is this 100% what you would do? Or is it just something you do because you strive to reach a point where you can just enjoy what you have? Balance. I want to pull some more cards. There are a lot of questions. It's like, boundaries. Boundaries and beauty. Oh. Those two characters in one reading, that's interesting. I mean, it's, in a way, it looks like this is also somewhat important because, or it's good in a way because it's a very a very tight squeeze, or a very tight, you know, how much you put on the table is the question, right? Because too much would cross a boundary, but if you show not everything, right, it will just be, it won't be authentic enough. And it's the way of trying to find the middle way, right? Trickery. But there's so much beautiful energy on the table. It's just I don't pick it up. Maybe because of the chilly energy. I just have the feeling that there's a new chilly. It's this tense energy. It's this you know, when you bite on chili, and at first it's not that spicy, but then it turns into something really, really spicy and hot and just almost not enjoyable because it's so loaded with the chili energy. Do you know what I mean? Very silent today, but also very tired. It's like being worn out of all this. Father Gate. Boat step forward. Yeah, you know, it would be totally refreshing if we could just say whatever's on our minds, right? But especially online, when I think about this, you know, when you are recording yourself, you can replay the recording over and over and over again and analyze everything and just, you know, analyze it until it's over-analyzed and it's overthought and it's over-constructed and overly, there's just too much, right? Dream Thief, refusal of the call. It's also this feeling of there's some sort of thing around the corner, you know. I'm personally somewhat spooked out by the number 13. I don't know why. It's probably indoctrination, but I'm just spooked out by this. Because it's so... Yeah, it also creates this feeling of there could be, you know, something could be lost. And yeah. Luck and right timing. Beautiful, isn't it? It's almost like not believable anymore in a way. But it is on the table. It's just hidden underneath this. I'm really tired. Don't know. Am I missing something in this reading? Because it feels like I don't know. Now I'm looking at the cards and like, what's missing here? So silent. Yeah, it's the silence of sadness, right? But if you have to uphold an image of upliftment or encouragement or strength or something, right? And that's a whole different story than being real. Because being real creates vulnerability. But it also creates belonging. It's just the question for me is the place we are in the place where we find the true belonging, or is it just a sense of this? Especially online, right? Because it's just too much. It's like, you know, it's like dragging my feet. I feel like this dragging my feet thing about, yeah, that's what we do, right? Oh, different energy. Trickery. What is real abundance? I mean, what is it actually, right? Real abundance is also the freedom of speech and the freedom of being who you are completely, right? Without having to arrange the fish. Do you see that? They are all arranged, and it's a very cautious energy. It's this, you know, it's not, you know, they are all in one direction. It's one. It's not like they are like a little bit, but still they are all somehow, they look arranged to me because they all look in the same direction, right? But there's plenty of things there, right? It's just once you have seen this, right, the trickery in this, it's like you cannot unsee it, and therefore you are double as cautious about what you do, how you are in everything, right? Is this reading helpful? I feel it's a different mood. It's a different mood than I was in. It's this underlying feeling of there must be more than that, right? There must be more than this. I'm sorry, I don't know. Make time for self-love. Leave the past behind. Yeah, it's this, you know, putting the card on the table, make time for self-love, but almost not knowing how to do it yourself in a way, right? It's this, what is self-love actually? Is self-love you know, just grooming yourself and you know, you can also live a tough self-love, right? Where you are very controlling of yourself and you say, well, but that's self-love too. And it's a whole different image. It's this, you know, because, for example, if you eat healthy, that's self-love, right? But it doesn't always feel like this sometimes. It feels sometimes it feels just like the opposite, and it is almost like finding something that finding the right phrase to call this self-love. Because we always, you know, we have the tendency to say that if we eat chocolate or something else, that this is also self-love, right? For example, after a breakup or something, we have the tendency to eat more, or, you know, of those uplifting foods that are filled with those manipulating chemicals. But when you look at the long-term impact of this, it creates, that's not self-love, right? Because it's not healthy in a way. And leave the past behind. Yeah, that would be refreshing, right? If you would just be able to leave it behind. And it's also almost going back to a time in the past where it was a bit more easy. It's this before all this happened thing. You could have just retreated, and you know, it's a retreat in a way. I don't know, is this reading helpful? It feels a bit too cautious. It feels cautious, like cautious and on alert, actually, like I'm also wondering, you know, because with my words that I put on this reading, it's a self-overthinking. You know, all my words that I put into this reading, I could pull the same cards on a different day in a different mood and mindset, and there would be a totally different message. Maybe a more uplifting one, right? Because there's magic on the table and the sun. It's beautiful, right? It's beautiful. And there's spirit on the table, right? Just still feels a bit sad and restrictive. Yeah, it's like my words are too restrictive for this, for what wants to come out of this. Maybe that's the thing. That's this, yeah, it's this, the abundance. It's this, it's just a tiny fragment that comes through, and it's just a tiny facet of like a tiny bit of what is actually on the table. You know, it's just a little moment that I'm, you know, that I'm just recording here, right? So it's a tiny moment of so many other moments that are looking so different, right? But I chose to sit down now and I record it now and not later when I could have said something else with the same cards on the table, right? It's again this tiny fragment of everything. And it's too confining. It is. Because look at this. This is restricted. You know, and a spirit, you know, a free spirit doesn't have lines around. It's like a free spirit doesn't have words around also, right? It's like words are almost too much. But they are not, right? It's, of course, you know, when you use words, you want to express something, and it's totally valid. It's just that you express a certain moment and you tear it apart. You know, it's a certain moment that you know, it's like baking a cake and you are ruling out the, what's it called? You know what I mean. It's just spreading it apart when there's so much more, and it's just a tiny fragment, right? And because that it's just a tiny fragment, it feels not authentic somehow. But it is, because it is a moment, and every moment in a way is somewhat authentic, even if you say that a moment is just a little bit. But a moment, even this interview example, you know, is a moment, and it is authentic. It's authentic in its way of putting on clothes to get specific clothes to go to an interview, to just to show how much you want a position or something like that, you know? It's just that we say that it's inauthentic because we feel like we are nervous and insecure, right? But that's authentic when we go somewhere and we are a bit excited about it somehow, right? It just feels so restrictive when you look at every tiny moment and every tiny second in a way. But then the whole story is being told when you look at the whole big picture, right? Then it creates something else, right? It's like, it's like writing a book and trying to dig deep into every and every moment deserves a chapter almost, right? And by doing this, it creates feelings, and also it opens the heart somehow. You know, when you really look at moments and really look at them from every angle and, you know, describe them in a different way, in a way, you know, when you look at moments are just sometimes just seconds, but when you put words on them, you could write a whole book about a single second. And it takes many more moments, or so many moments to write this book, and it takes so many more moments to read this book. It's just about moments. And it goes much deeper, doesn't it? It goes much deeper when you overthink all of this, and when you put it into, when you bind it then. Right? When you bind it. Oh. I just get this feeling of, when you do something and it makes you cry, does it make other people cry also? Is it somewhat contagious? Because based on every consciousness that is focused on every moment, it's a different filter, isn't it? I don't know if this is helpful. I'm just blah. Yeah, so let's see if there's a Moonology card to wrap it all up. I'm already half an hour also. Oh, confidence is your key to success. Yeah. Yeah, so I didn't have a doubt in confidence, but maybe you have when you explore moments. So confidence is on the table for you. I hope it's helpful. Let's see who this reading is for. Jeez, gods. Oh yes. Beautiful. Yeah, additional info is in the letterbox below, and see you next time. Bye bye.